Welcome.
You are watching Line Screw 1. Well, hello tubers, hope you're doing well wherever you are in this crazy YouTube universe. Today we're going to talk about something that I've talked about occasionally here, and that's the price of housing and the price of living in certain parts of the world, particularly where I live. Now, I know the world has gone crazy in spite of the economy not doing very well in many parts of the planet. The housing prices continue to rise in so many places. Weird places like Tehran, Iran. Who would have thunk? Now, everybody thinks of the most expensive places in North America as being places like New York City or even posh areas of the metropolitan Los Angeles area like Bel Air, Beverly Hills, etc. But those are not places that normal people live. But normal people in Vancouver live in million-dollar homes. Yes, hard to believe. Vancouver is now the second most expensive place in North America to live. Hard to believe. Now, many things have caused this to happen. Land speculation, a lot of foreign investment, even a lot of dirty money from illicit money laundering. And of course, the Olympics that we had in Vancouver in 2010 didn't help. But here we are during a pandemic and land prices are going through the roof. So I'm going to show you how, if you're a person that just makes $100,000 a year in most parts of North America, if you made $100,000 a year and your wife had a job and she made $50,000 a year, you guys would be doing quite well. But in Vancouver, that puts you in the realm of being an average person. Very strange. You add on that free healthcare with all the high taxes. Well, I don't know if it's a good deal or not, but at least you don't have to sell your house when you have a heart attack. That's probably the only small blessing involved here. But let's get into this and show you some real-life examples I pulled off the internet today. Canada is one of those countries where foreigners are welcome to come here and buy a place. Yes, you too could come here and land speculate. Depending on where you buy, you may have to pay a foreign owner's tax. And if you don't occupy it, you may have to pay a tax for that too. But you're welcome to send your money on up to Vancouver and speculate, and hopefully you can get out of the market before the whole thing collapses, because I don't think this is going to be going on forever, because nothing is forever. There is no commodity that goes up in a straight line forever and ever and ever. So let's dive into this. Let's take a look at this old house here in Collingwood neighborhood. It's on Spencer Street. That's in the central eastern part of Vancouver. $2.6 million. Now, if you notice there's an estimate monthly cost to service that debt of $8,200 a month. Hope you got $8,200 a month, plus the cost to live and insure your car and feed your family. So you need a pretty good income to support this very modest house. Now let's take a look at the details of the lot and the house. 5 bedrooms, 2 baths. Very modest size lot. 33 by 99 feet. The house is 101 years old. Wow. That's a vintage house. 33-foot frontage. Oh boy. So here's the deal. I think a lot of people are wanting to buy these in the hopes that a developer will buy it and adjacent properties and throw up condos or maybe a monster house of some sort for the wealthy. Because you've got to remember, this is a modest house for working class people. 2.6 million Canadian dollars. Now in US dollars, just take off about 27% off the asking price, and that would be the price in American dollars. If you want to send your US dollars up here to buy this wonderful 100-year-old house, and hopefully somebody will buy it off of you and you can speculate and maybe make a profit. Okay, we got another one here. This looks like the typical house that my parents owned up in the Yukon. My grandparents owned a very similar home. A lot of these were built and stuccoed back in the day. This one is modestly priced at $4.7 million. You're looking at almost $15,000 a month to service the debt to own this lovely baby on 67th Avenue. Yeah, what a wonderful purchase that would be. Let's look at the details here. Built in 1952, so it's part of that post-war boom building cycle. Nearly 70 years old. Look at the gross taxes on that per year. $11,000. Woo! Not cheap just to own it. Property taxes are not what you'd call reasonable around here. But I guess relative to the value of the asset, some might argue it is. A slightly bigger lot size than the last one we looked at, 45 by 122. Got a pretty good backyard. The lawn looks like it needs some help, but of course this picture was taken now in late winter. Yes, this too could be yours. If you pony up $4 to $5 million, all yours, baby. Just so you don't think that I'm just cherry picking here. Here's another modest looking house in a modest neighborhood. $1.8 million. There you go. If you want something modest and affordable, it's all yours. Now you're thinking, line screw, but what if I wanted something a little more modern, a little nicer? Now this is not what you would call posh. This is just a nice, newer property. So I want to show you what a nice, newer property on a modest sized lot looks like and what you get for your money. So you're looking at about $6.7 million. Take a look at those monthly expenses to carry that debt. Over $21,000 a month. And it is nice. We got a lot size of 51 by 120, built 3 years ago in 2018. Oh, and it does have a basement. So, if you take a look on the inside here, it's not posh. I don't consider anything that I see in these pictures posh. It's just nice, it's comfortable. A lot of average people live in homes like this around here. You can actually renovate an older house and make it look about the same. So it's not high-end. This is not something that you'd see Oprah living in, and even Oprah Winfrey is rumored to own properties in Vancouver. Of course, she lives in the really nice neighborhoods. She wouldn't even settle for this dump. But this is what you get for that price point. Very modest bedrooms. You know, it's okay. But you're probably saying, but hey, line screw, what if I just want a modest old apartment? Okay, we got that. And arguably, it is affordable. $500,000, baby. So this is what we got here on Harrow Street. This is a meh sort of neighborhood. Nothing to write home about. Your car may be broken into quite often if you park on the street. Property crime is just a fact of life in Vancouver. Pretty safe place to live in terms of lack of violent crime, but property crime is nuts. So for your $500,000, you get a small apartment built in 1977. You got strata fees. Those are, I don't know if they call them strata fees in the U.S., but they're maintenance fees of $323 a month. It is a corner unit, so I guess that is a selling feature. 1 bath, 1 bedroom. I believe it comes in at a little over 600 square feet. So that's what you get for $500,000. Looks like many apartments that I've rented in Canada over the years. Very simple, very basic, very livable, but $500,000, baby. So the question is, when will all this end? When will the craziness end? I have seen some very astute people that have sold out, take their money and they buy an RV for cash. They move to Saskatchewan, buy a house cash. They buy a couple brand new cars cash. They bank the rest of the money and they live happily ever after. Now, there are social consequences for housing prices being so high. A lot of businesses, especially in the downtown corridor, can't find workers because, you know, people don't want to commute on a bus for hours and hours just to some low-paying job. So it does create some sort of social consequences. There are more homeless people kicking around because, you know, obviously if you can't afford to pay the rent on these properties, what are you going to do? You got to live somewhere else, which is probably a good idea. Honestly, if I had to rent an apartment, I would not be doing it in Vancouver because I'd be throwing away a lot of money. So that's just me. I just want my money to go a little bit further. But for the rest of you, speculate your heart out. Come on up with your hard-earned money and get rich like everybody else. The irony is most people make more money from land appreciation than the jobs they go to. You can actually look up what the average salary is for a person living in Vancouver, it's it's not that high. It's somewhere between $50,000 and $60,000 a year. But the social consequences of housing prices being this high means that people are running illegal suites. People have to live with roommates. People do this phenomenon I called married but dating, because the couple are unhappy but they own a house and they want to keep making money. So they realize the marriage is over, but the real estate speculation isn't. So married and dating, that's the Vancouver way. Or else you'll never get back into the real estate market. Yep, social consequences for high prices in Vancouver. But what are you going to do? People like money. But the question is, when the party's over, what are they going to do? A lot of these people, if the interest rates even went up a few points to, say, 5-6%, they'd be screwed. And definitely if the property values dropped to 20 or 30%, there would be a mass exodus and the prices would plummet. But that's their problem, because you pays your money and you takes your chances. In the meantime, folks, stay safe, keep your wheels in the ground, and put your comments down below what you think about this Vancouver housing prices. And Vancouver is now the second most expensive place to live in North America.
I got you, I got you, I got you.